Okay, this is episode 17. I'm definitely sure this time. This is TK or Twilight Night, and with me is
Reese. If you see me on the game, you know me as your nemesis, Big Papa Reese. And yeah, I'm here, bitches. And he's here, bitches. So here we are. Episode 17 of Geek Goonz. Has it been an interesting week? Has it been an impactful week this week?
I mean, I would personally say yes. Just because of watching Elon Musk bury Twitter. Like, it's the most hilarious thing ever. Like, you could swear this guy is like a real life Tony Stark. Except like the more dumb version.
I wouldn't say he's Tony Stark.
Well, excuse me, a more arrogant version.
I think he's definitely making things a lot more difficult on himself than he has to. But definitely, I wouldn't compare him to Tony Stark. I don't even compare him to be necessarily just evil. I know a lot of people are thinking that, but I think it's just a super rich person who just is outside of social norms. Like, I don't even equate him with evil. I just equate him with someone out of touch.
Well, no. I don't think he's like evil. I just think that, like you said, the guy is out of touch, and he definitely thinks he is more capable than what he thinks he's more capable of doing the same workload than he probably gives himself credit for.
Yeah, I think that's from a person who's just like who's seen so much success from all of his endeavors, right? Like, because I mean, to be honest, he has given us a lot, right? Like, this is a guy who pretty much, for the most part, brought up PayPal, so we can thank him for that. Tesla, which is pretty cool. SpaceX, which is also really cool. Starlink is pretty cool. The Boring Company is cool. That was just kind of like him saying, fuck this shit. And now he takes on Twitter. And I think, like I said, I think he really is just making Twitter more of a I like what his intention is. His intention is, hey, let's make this a digital town square. Let's make this a place where everyone can speak and, essentially have an open discussion. But he's making shit a lot more difficult than what he has to. Like, he's fucking himself over. Like, firing employees that know how the system runs. Like, come on.
And then he literally is having to go back and get help from them after he fires them.
Because they know the system. Like, they know. I think if there was any way for him to approach this, Elon Musk is the type of motherfucker to end up watching some random Geek Goonz podcast just off the strength. But I would think that he should have done it in a way where it's like, okay, hey, I'm coming over. I'm taking over Twitter. The things that work, keep them, leave them, not touching it. The things that don't, all right, I'll make some changes to them. Like, one of the main things I think was him when he made the change of the verification, so anybody could get a blue check mark. Essentially, he's like, okay, we'll kind of give everyone that freedom, because there have been talks of like background of people paying Twitter, like people that work at Twitter, like $15,000 to get verified on there, right? So like, he's like him saying, all right, you know what? Everybody can get a blue check mark for $8. Cool. That sounds fair. Sounds fun for everybody. The problem with that is the blue check mark has been, and if we're looking at the internet as an actual thing, it's been synonymous with authenticity, right? Why would the moment he gave everybody a blue check mark, people just started having the blue check mark, impersonating other people, and then just start going crazy.
Him, actually.
Yeah, they started impersonating him, LeBron James, and all this other shit. And I was looking at one company. I don't know if this is true or not. They may have lost billions because like somebody impersonated their company and then blah, blah, blah. The problem I have with all of that is like Elon Musk, everything was fine the way the blue check mark was. Like, that has been synonymous with verification, with authenticity. Yeah, like we didn't need to change that. So now under it, it's like a blue check mark. We might be able to put like so people can see what I'm talking about.
It's like a double check mark actually now.
It's like a double check mark. It's like a blue check mark, and then it's a gray check mark under it that says official. That's more work than what it fucking needs to be. All he had to do was literally keep the blue check mark for the people that are verified and famous and of notable status, and then everyone else who wants a check mark, you get the gray check mark. That's it. That's all. It didn't need to be, hey, everybody gets a blue check mark, then you get another check mark that says you're official.
Or you had to provide like your actual like license information to get a check mark, like from then on. Like you had to actually verify your identity.
Yeah, even that. Even if you had to verify your identity before you got the blue check mark, that's cool. That also kind of that cheapens and I hate to be, not famous and having this perspective, but that cheapens the value of what the blue check mark is. The blue check mark, like I said, it's already had its standard of what it is on the internet. Why confuse people? Why, like, you're upsetting the nature of what you're trying to, you say you're trying to do against, right? Like, you're upsetting it. You're making people question if something is verifiable or not when you didn't have that to do. It was already done.
Honestly, if he wanted to really do anything that really make Twitter a better place, and I'm gonna get slapped for this, but like there needs to be like a good like an actual line between Twitter and X Twitter, if you know what I mean.
What do you mean? Why does that make it a good thing?
I understand, like a line between Twitter and the sexual side of Twitter.
Yeah, why does that matter?
Because like you got like 13-year-olds, like you got like under the 18 people just really browsing.
Well, yeah. So I think that's one of those things that you can't really. I don't think, because I think the base age of all of these social platforms is, hey, you have to be 13 years old in order to sign up for this. And then I think to that point, you also have the opportunity to set limits that your kids can go to or whatever. I don't even think there needs to be a line between Twitter and X Twitter. I really don't.
When I say a line, I don't mean like a hard separation, but bro,
yeah, I don't think
both of us was like 15, 16. We definitely saw some titties at 15 and 16 on Twitter. It's just, I think it's like, it needs to be harder for minors to get to that side of Twitter. That's all I'm saying.
Sure. I think, yeah, I mean, obviously. I think they do that by what they've already done as the standard, right? Which is you can't hashtag anything that's sexual. You can't hashtag anything that has a sexual whatever to it. Like, you can't really.
They do.
I mean, you can't. You can hashtag it, but you can't find anything on that. Like,
you can't. Like, you can. Like, I know sex workers that use Twitter to advertise.
I mean, nigga, you might have a hashtag there, but it's not going to be up there long. Like, if you hashtag something like that, it's not going to stay there.
Like, it's still there. Like, it's like, I don't know how to explain. Like,
all right,
it works. You can find, like, you can literally look at the hashtag. Like, it's stuff that shows up months later.
I think if there's anything Twitter needs to change, right? Because the sex aspect of it, I think that's going to stay. Tumblr did it a long time ago.
I think it's going to stay. I'm just...
Yeah, and Tumblr, I think Twitter's taking a big note from Tumblr. When they took away their sexual aspect, they plumbled.
They did. They definitely did plumble. I don't think that they should go to route of Tumblr. I definitely don't.
Yeah, I don't think you take away the porn aspect.
Yeah, that's not what I'm saying.
Yeah, leave that. What I do think, though, is there should be a harder line, and this is across the board. Facebook, Twitter, any of that shit. Seeing people die on Twitter and shit, not a good feeling of being able to just scroll and having that pop up on the timeline.
I mean, like, either or, like, say
either or. Like, you should be able to kind of have a filter to that. But I guess you kind of do, or kind of can to some degree, by muting words and stuff like that. But
I don't know. Twitter's like the social media to me. 4chan. You remember 4chan?
Yeah, 4chan.
Yeah. It's like a slightly more moderated version than 4chan.
Yeah, I think Twitter is if we're looking at it to be the virtual Times Square, I think for the most part, things should be able to go. I think it needs to draw the line when you are. I don't think sex is like the sex aspect of it. It doesn't bother me as much because that is someone like that can be someone who's not harming anybody doing what they do.
I don't mean like it should be taken away.
Yeah, I don't think you're saying that either.
That's not what I'm saying.
Yeah, I don't think you're saying that.
But what I'm saying is
it should be harder to access.
If you had a daughter that was like a daughter or son or any gender or non-binary, if you had a child that was 14, 15, I was like, yo, I'm using Tinder. Like not Tinder. God,
Twitter.
Yeah. You're gonna be like, yo, I need to make sure.
Yeah, you should moderate that.
Yeah, it should definitely be moderated.
Agreed. I think the death and killing aspect is a lot worse for me. I don't want to fucking. I think that's a lot more traumatizing as a human.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not like.
I mean,
in general,
I
think
I get what you're saying, 100%. Like, I think if we're scaling them and we're not scaling them,
I mean, definitely, I would rather like my child see like a penis or a vagina than a person getting their head blown off.
Let's not.
I would rather them not see either. Like, I'm not saying shield them, but just like not have such easy access.
Yeah, I think if we draw it back, I think what he expects Twitter to be. What Elon expects Twitter to be. I think that could work. I think we need that forum. I don't think Elon Musk is the guy to do that, to be honest with you. While he is really, really intelligent and highly motivated.
Too arrogant. Way too arrogant.
I think he's really I think he's really out of touch. I think when you're that smart and you know your ideas and you know how well they can become, I don't think you need to do that in yourself, right? Like, I think that's kind of the same hole that Kanye West is falling into. It's kind of like, hey, you have a side of this where you may be posing a conversation that needs to be had, but your ego and your arrogance is getting in the way of that conversation being had. Like, you're saying the wrong things to destroy the conversation. Like, you aren't giving it space to actually be a conversation. You're just fucking it.
Yeah, it's like when the wrong people
talk about
and it just screws up the entire message.
That's my main thing with especially with Kanye West, because they run in the same circle. They're both friends, and
Well, I mean, what he recently said, that was just all together wrong.
I don't know. I don't know what he recently said. But whatever he said a lot of wrong into it. It's not a lot of wrong within it.
It was very. I mean, since we gotta give.
Yeah, go ahead.
So basically, Kanye West is trying to say that Black people are and this is me quoting him, the true Jewish people, and he was trying to discredit the current Jewish culture.
Okay.
The issue wasn't that he was saying that Black people were Jewish. The issue was that he tried to discredit the current Jewish culture.
I think with Kanye, like I was because this is a touchy subject, and you don't want to offend anyone without there's a way to get your point across without having to offend, and it holds more if you let that conversation breathe, right? Like, if he were to say something like, hey, I think that Black people are the original Jews, without having to offend. If he said that just base level, right, and open the conversation to have people have to question that and say, all right, why do you think that? Why do you feel that way? Let's examine that. Let's talk about it without being offensive. Now we have a conversation that everyone that they can't knock him for. You know what I'm saying? Like, they can't discredit you for just simply questioning something like that. They can try, but they can't do it in a firm way. Now they have a firm way to knock down anything he says based off of the negative things that he's.
Because he opened the conversation, like I said, basically discrediting. And
he fucked his own argument in the process. And also, not for nothing, Kanye West, you fuck the Black people. Like, you say, hey, I'm trying to help Black people and do this and do that, and in the process, if you say you're trying to uplift and you're trying to seek our betterment, right, or seek the world's betterment, you aren't doing a good job of that shit. Like, you're doing more harm than good, because you're so arrogant to think that, hey, I can say what I want. I can do what I want, right? I don't have any repercussions behind what I say or what I do. But now we're losing a person who had the potential and who has been at times a leader in the Black community, right? Like, lost that person.
More of a staple.
I say he's done a lot to say to really kind of let Black people kind of have something to stand on and feel, a staple in music, but more of a. I think he's been a leader. At times.
I will say two things about him.
Yeah.
First, like Kanye definitely deserved to lose like what he lost, and he deserves all the like backlash he's getting. But one thing I found funny is that a black billionaire can say something sort of anti-Semitic and lose everything as he should. But a white billionaire can say anti-black comments, among other things, run for president and win.
Yeah, and even beyond that, right? Like, what did I think it was the Phoenix Suns owner? I think he just got ousted and for saying something racist. All right, they lose their team, right? They lose their basketball team, right? That's what they lose. They don't lose the fortune that you know that's behind all that. Kanye West lost J.P. Morgan as his banker. He lost every deal he's had, and rightfully so. I think he said a lot of things that just, you know, shot himself in the foot. But I think there is something to question and to ask why or how quickly that was able to happen to him. Why? And how did that happen? And why doesn't that happen across the board? You know, you don't see people that are white that this happens to, right? Or they say something that's anti-black and they lose everything. They just go do something else. They harbor the money that they had. All right, cool. I'm going to do some other shit, right? I'm just not public facing anymore because I ruined my career.
Yeah, I 100%
right. Donald
agree.
Sterling, the owner of the Clippers, a couple years ago said some racist shit. Donald Sterling has probably lived his life perfectly over the last however many years that's happened. And that's something to be noted. Again, important conversations to have. Kanye's fucking himself and us in having that conversation because his ego and everything else is getting in the way of that. Like, you aren't giving us the space to have this conversation because you're fucking it up.
You want to know something else that not that, you want to know something that he did say that was good, that was sort of like legitimate, but it came from him, so it just fucked up everything.
What?
When he said that the Black Lives organization, not the movement, I fuck with the movement, but the organization profited off of the movement and did very little for black people.
Yes.
That is a very fucking fact. It has been articles and people that have came out.
Yep.
But because it came from Kanye West and he's been saying crazy shit, it just got...
Important thing to mention.
Yep.
Again, right? And something for us to, as a community to dig deeper and figure out. But Kanye makes it too easy for people to discredit him. He makes it too easy for people to take down what he says because he's saying so many other things that are problematic. And I think ultimately the legacy that he feels that he'll have will be tainted because he couldn't allow himself to you know, have a moment where it's like, all right, Kanye, you're not in control. You know, all right, you're not the one that needs to give this message, or you need to chill out on whatever you think, right? Like, you can't say everything that you think,
or just like be more like.
Because I think one of his main things is like, he's like, I can, you know, they can't control me. I can say what I want. All right, cool, yeah, man, you can say whatever you want, but that is not always the greatest thing. Like, you have to have some sort of a filter to say, hey, I'm considering people's emotions, right? It's not just about saying the right thing. It's about how you come across to people, right? Like, it's like, all right, am I considering everybody before I say this shit? No, he is not. And that's going to do him in the long run. I still hold hope for Kanye. I'll be honest with you, to some degree. Just because I think his heart is in the right place. I think he's trying to be understood. I just think that he cannot say it the right way. And to that point, he should definitely, you know, feel everything that he's doing, you know, but I still hold some hope for him.
Actually, him is like a big point of staple for like black mental health.
Yeah, it's important, right?
And I remember, like, I was listening to Kendrick Lamar's like newest album, and he was just talking about how, like, black celebrities or in industry in the music industry that he's in, how they've used money as a way of therapy.
Oh, 100.
And 100. You see them still walking around with the trauma that they endured. Like,
no, 100.
Like, I gotta get. Like, first of all, shout out to my boy Kendrick Lamar. Hey, bro, if you ever see this and you ever want to be on here, you welcome.
Yeah,
like
Kendrick Lamar.
Like that album was really amazing.
I think Kendrick, people like Kendrick Cole, because Cole does the exact same thing in the album that came out like 4 or 5 years ago called KOD, that he does a really good job in kind of breaking down that for more black youth. And I think those are people that I think looked up to Kanye, saw Kanye, right? Chance the Rapper being another one, looked up to Kanye, saw him, able to look at him, see how he's trying to lead, see what he's trying to do. But I think they're taking it a step further, right? I think in part because of Kanye, right? J. Cole released a song called False Prophets, and he's able to kind of take the glance and say like, hey, maybe the people that we thought were leaders are not. Maybe the people that we thought were as solid are not. You know what I mean? Like, I think those newer acts are doing a good job of exploring and going a step further and saying like, hey, all right, past the money shit, past the fame, past all of that, let's heal. Let's heal each other. Let's try to really take a step back and talk and try to learn and see where we're going wrong, because clearly we're going wrong. But nobody seems to know where to land. But Kendrick Lamar, J. Cole, I think you all are in a perfect spot. I think you all are doing really good jobs of upholding.
I like to add to that too. Childish Gambino, both with his show Atlanta, and with his latest album, he has a song that's called 3511 or Bigfoot, and it's sung in a very cheery fashion.
Yeah.
But he's talking about like trapping, hustling.
Yeah.
And it's like a very contradictory tone to what he's actually talking about. Yeah. But people are just listening to it, jamming to it because it sounds catchy.
Yeah.
And it's a very interesting, thing that he does with it.
Yeah.
And I always like a lot of the work that Childish Gambino puts out, because it's in a way social conversations. And and it annoys me sometimes.
Being a big one.
Yeah.
This Is America, when that came out, even on and I always wanted to say this on the podcast, but like even on This Is America, like even having the ad libs on the background of like different rappers that were hot at the time, like having Block Boy JB, a bunch of like young up and coming, like having the ad libs pop in and out in a song. It was really well done, like really smart of you, Childish Gambino. So we do have leaders that are taking a slow route. Jay-Z being another one who's taking a slower path, a calmer path to the betterment of us. I think I think they might land. I think Kanye might end up landing on his feet, God willing. But I can 100% understand if people like Childish Gambino, Kendrick Lamar, J. Cole are pissed off at him and do not want to.
I completely understand. But one thing I will say that Atlanta, like literally word from word almost of what a statement is said in Atlanta and shit. I guess this can be like the episode statement. Is that it was a part in there where he was trying to get these white company to invest in like black hood, low income communities and stuff. And one of the people on the board that was black, he was like, now, why in the world do you think white people will fund their own downfall?
Great point.
And I was like, yo, he's like, I've been using this program to build money and take that and invest in my own nonprofit.
Yeah.
And I was like, that is
shout out Childish Gambino, man. I haven't finished Atlanta. I will though. because it's one of those. It's one of those ones. I do have to watch Atlanta.
And it really, like, real quick, it really hurts me. Like when people like watch Atlanta and they be like, "Oh, it's like boring." Oh, I'm like, bro, y'all not really paying attention to what they talking about. Like, it's like this, like literally every episode, this man is literally dropping so much. Like, it's like y'all just watching to sit back and be entertained, but like, pay attention.
Yeah, like get the deeper meaning. Behind it. Funny enough, Childish Gambino married to a white woman. White kids and everything. Half white kids.
Hey, married to a woman he loves. That's what he described it. Like he ain't.
I ain't mad at it. I just think it's important to note that you can have that duality and still be a part of your community.
Which is very interesting.
You still have that duality.
And like they tried to come to him about it. He was like, "Yo, I literally like married like the first woman that like fell in love with me. Like I've been always open to like dating black women. But like every like situation I was in, they just was like didn't like my vibe.
I don't think a man ever has to explain why he married his wife. That's on you, brother. That's your wife.
Like you just fell in love with her.
Like that's your wife. I can't. Who am I to say? Like that's your wife.
Like shit, I marry a blue fucking alien bitch from into space. Like if she like if I meet her,
an avatar. Like, why not?
Yeah. Hey,
I'm with it. So I don't have no problem with that at all. I think we started out this with Elon Musk. So I think to wrap, it'll be Elon, stop fucking Twitter. Kanye, stop fucking the black community.
And
stop fucking yourself. I swear to God, stop fucking yourself and the black community.
And I guess Childish Gambino, J. Cole, and Chance the Rapper keep doing what y'all doing.
And Kendrick Lamar, just stay the course.
Yeah.
Young people like us, I think we admire you all. You all are doing well for the community. So we appreciate that.
Damn, this new generation gonna need a new like Kendrick Lamar, J. Cole.
They might. They might.
Like they do.
Sadly enough, a lot of them died. Rest in peace, XXX. But yeah, that is. I think this is it for the Geek Goonz episode 17.
Yep.
Glad I ended off with what I just ended off with. Yeah, that is it, ladies and gentlemen. This is the Geek Goonz.
We love you, and hey, our white listeners listening, hey, we love you too.
Yeah, I'm just as equal. Well, I fuck with my niggas.
And that is where we're ending the episode, ladies, gentlemen, and everyone.
Reese, I love you. I know you're white. I love you, brother. That was